Okay, so I just woke up from a nap. I have new video editing ideas that I want to try with this, and I'm procrastinating on finishing the captions for the second episode of the Pirate Mermaid. Let's go! I'm terrible, don't be like me. Okay, so one of my viewers, Michael P, commented on the first half of this speed paint, well, the first third, really, I guess, of the speed paint, asking if I could do like dialogue over my drawing and talk about my process and my art and everything. And I thought that's a really great idea. I honestly kind of wanted to do that at the outset, but not gonna lie, captions take forever, so a little bit more planning involved. But so I figured I just would talk about some of the techniques that I'm using in this. I was originally going to talk about like my art background, but I think I'm actually going to say that for a different video and just like do an entire video on how I got to where I am with my art and everything and dig out some of those awful 6th grade drawings that got me on this path if I can find them, because I totally didn't save them under the guest bed. But, and talk about some of the tools that I used to get to where I am, because I have like 3 or 4 books that I own that either I got for Christmas, my dad bought me, trying to help me become a better artist. But anyways, let me talk about this. And all that will be included in a video sometime in the future. Not really sure when. I'm still trying to work out my update schedule of what I actually want to post. Don't worry, I'm sticking to the update schedule. It's killing me, but I'm doing it. But anyways, so I watched some um I watched some live streams when I first got into like the art community online by an artist named Itemalicious. I'm probably not saying that right. She was my idol. Like, I don't think she posts very much anymore on the Otaku, which is where I know her from. But Temi, or Temi-chan as she was often called back in the glory days, uses a lot of line variation, and I haven't really ever tried to incorporate that the way that I do now. I am using really thick lines, obviously, for like the eyelashes and stuff, because they do have pretty thick eyelashes, which I appreciate. But as far as line variation, like within the facial structure, using some thicker lines for kind of the outline of the curvature of the nose, thinner lines for the mouth. Like when I do Ochako's mouth, in a couple minutes you'll see that. And you can kind of see it a little bit with Deku, but when I do Ochako's mouth, it's really noticeable because I go for a really thin line. And I will admit I'm not the best at thinking of like compositions. I think for this one I was trying more to branch out with doing group images, because I don't draw a lot of group images. I usually draw a lot of like individual, that stereotypical 3/4 position like headshot, because that is just how I practice and get my confidence up with my drawing skills. I honestly haven't had a lot of time in the last 2 years to do fan art. Ever since I started college, it's just been crazy. But I wanted to try to do something a little bit different here. So this one I think is more about just my love for My Hero Academia and these 4 goofballs in particular. I do have other favorite characters, like Tokoyami is pretty solidly up there. Like, I just don't know what it is about Small Bird's son, but I love him. But out of these 4, Todoroki is my favorite because I just love the way that season 2 is handling his character arc. I'm trying not to say any spoilers for people that haven't seen season 2, because I won't judge. I haven't even finished it, but I really love Todoroki's character arc, and the dynamic between him and Izuku's probably my favorite thing about the new season that I've seen so far. So right up until I can't say that because it's a spoiler, but anyways, um, so one of the tricks I use a lot. I abuse this with pleasure is taking pieces that I've already done of the line art and copying them to make my life a little bit easier. I struggle. Ooh, fighting off that yawn. I struggle really hard, and you're about to see it with Ochako, to get things symmetrical and looking the same. Like, I did it with the sketch, I'm pretty sure, where I'll draw one eye without the iris, and then I'll just copy it and flip it, and that makes my life so much easier. I actively encourage you to do this. It saves a lot of time, it saves frustration. And another thing I do is when I get a shape that I like, if it's not quite dark enough, I'll just copy it and paste it on top of itself, and then I'll just compress all those down. It saves so much time. Oh, and here you can see the really thin line work with Ochako's mouth. Like, the size of the brush is about the size of the dot for her nose, but I cranked it down when I did her mouth because I'm trying to practice more line variation. I feel like I don't do that enough in my art, or at least not in my digital art. It's kind of harder to do in traditional art. You can do it because my professor for my basic drawing and my life drawing class, same guy, he's really awesome and I learned a lot from him. God bless his soul, he retired. But he really kind of pressed us sometimes to use different line weights, and that produced a different feeling in my art, and I really liked it. So I'm trying to incorporate. It's easier to incorporate in digital art because you can control the size of the line a lot better. When we did line variation in my live drawing class, it was usually with like a dip pen and ink. Not a dip pen, but like a calligraphy pen that doesn't have a cartridge in it. I don't know why I can't remember the actual name of it, and deep sigh is totally appropriate in this moment. But yeah, so that's just a couple of the techniques. Are the line variation and copying and flipping things just to make my life so much easier. Another thing is, you'll see it here when I start transitioning from doing Todoroki's lines to Deku's lines with the hair, which gave me so much trouble. I love Deku, but oh my god, his hair is a mess to figure out. But it helps sometimes for me to take the line art and do it on two different layers, especially when there's an area that I can't tell what belongs to who, or what's supposed to be in front and what's behind. So doing it on two layers allows me to figure that out later. Like, step back from the piece a little bit, think about who's supposed to be in front, and find those lines that intersect and just erase them. That helps a whole lot. So that's why I kind of zoom all the way out to check. But yeah, those are just a couple of the tips and tricks that I have. I know I didn't get to talk about a lot because I wanted to keep this video kind of short. I'll be posting a version with this as well as with just the music, and I'll be working on that my art story video eventually. I just thought of it, so I kind of have to collect everything. But thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed.